Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and a happy game day. Happy Thursday morning as well. I hope the day is going to treat you well. Obviously, Spurs playing today, they have a massive part in your happiness for today, I guess. So 5:45 UK time, PM, Spurs play today away in Holland, and a game that I think for many different reasons, it could be deemed a must win. Okay, we've got some really wicked stats to tell you, which I hate the term, there's no excuses not to win. I really hate that. I think that's living in a really delusional world where nothing can ever happen in football. Better team wins every single game. And I really hate that mindset because I don't know about you, having watched football for nearly 3 decades, 4 decades actually, well, 3 decades at least, I know that anything can happen in football. So this game today, obviously, having watched Arsenal in the week, who decimated PSV Eindhoven, I think looking at the Dutch table, if I can really quickly, I'll find it in a second. Looking at it, PSV are obviously doing quite well in the Eredivisie, and they are second. They're second at the moment, and AZ Alkmaar are behind them by 9 points. So yes, on paper, the PSV obviously a better team. So, is it a must win? Potentially so. Potentially so, but we're going to talk about that. Morning, Sonia, Steve, Spurs, XL, EZ, Jake, Steve. I'm definitely not 40, Steve. I may look it, but I'm not. I promise, okay? I promise. I've got to get to the threes before I can get to the fours. But look, the game today, I'm looking forward to it. Got some crazy stats to give you. Obviously, this is the second meeting this season between the two clubs. Spurs winning the first game 1-0. Spurs have won 7 of their last 11 major European matches against Dutch sides, having drawn 2 and lost the other 2. With this, their first knockout meeting since beating Ajax 3-2 in May 2019 to reach the Champions League final. AZ Alkmaar have scored 19 Europa League goals this season, with only 3 teams netting more. They haven't scored 20-plus goals in the major European season since 06-07. Well, you would think over 2 legs they're going to get 1 goal against Spurs, so they should do that. Spurs have won 3 of their last 18 away legs in major European ties. They've drawn 5 and lost 10. Losing their last 2 without scoring since a 4-1 win at RZ Pellets WAC in February 2021. RZ Pellets WAC? I don't know who that is. Heung-Min has scored 7 major European knockout goals for Tottenham this century. The only player to have done more is actually Dimitar Berbatov with 12, which is quite a quirky little stat. It's a quirky little stat for you. If I'm going to be real with you, looking at some of those stats, that one where Spurs have won, Spurs won 3 of their last 18 away legs in European knockout competitions. That's horrific. Now, we're talking about having managers manage us like Antonio Conte, which, if you ask some Spurs fans, he's the world's greatest thing since sliced bread. Mauricio Pochettino managed us in that time. Last 18s, we've only won 3. You're winning 1 in every 6. That's really poor, that stat. That needs to change. That needs to change. Okay. So today, I'm hoping that will be that change. I'm really looking forward to today's game. I can't stress enough how much I am. Got some really good stuff coming out of Ange's press conference yesterday, because he delivered updates on the injuries and everything like that. He said Kulusevski is the only player that hasn't travelled. He's got a knock on the foot. He's not really sure when, to be honest, but it got a bit sore in the last couple of weeks. But he's been able to train and play and just get through it okay. Which, by the way, that's a great mindset. I talked about Ben Davies, what was it, last week? And I said, these guys are playing through, injuries. Pape Matar, Radu Dragusin, Archie Gray. Archie Gray was more of an illness than an injury at that time. We've got players that are playing through things to help the team, and that's fantastic in terms of that's what you want. That's what you want the leaders to be in that squad. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Let's go out there and let's play. Let's win this game. It's a mindset I think sometimes is lacking in top flight sports. I mean, if you look at the NBA, it's rife with players sometimes just not playing. So having players who are senior players in the squad like Ben Davies, but having, influential players like Kulusevski, it shows the youngsters, hey, you got to knock, rub some mud in it and get on with it. Let's go. Let's get out there and let's play. Let's win this game. So I rated that. But he said it wasn't getting better. We did some further investigations and no real clarity again, but we're waiting on a couple of things to find out the extent of it. But unlikely to be back before the international break, which I think we all expected. He said it's nothing serious, nothing surgical or anything, but he didn't travel. Ben Davies, he's close, but is still doing some work back at the training ground with Richie and everyone here. So that's the first bit before I come on to the Romeros, before I come onto the Mickey Van der Vens, before I come onto the Solanke side of things. It's a shame about, Kulu, but at the same point, when on earth are you ever going to have everyone fit? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Every team has a few injuries here and there. They might only have 2 or 3, but it is still something. With Spurs, even with the players that have come back, if you do kind of mention the Romeros, the Solankes, and the Mickey Van der Vens, they're not 100%, right? They're not going to be 100% today. So don't expect them to go out there and drop 10 out of 10 performances. That's unrealistic. They've missed a lot of time. They're going to need 2 to 3 games to really get some real legs back into them. I think that was the same for Madison and Doggy. Odebear, I still think needs some time. He's been out for pretty much the whole season. So, I think that's kind of my sort of feeling towards those guys coming back. So let's see on those. And, I talked about it even on Twitter with some people because there are some good people on Twitter. I do promise. A lot of them are questionable. I'm going to leave that one there. There are some good people on Twitter that you can have an actual football conversation with. And, I saw a lot of people saying we need to be going all out. Totally get that. You want to go out, if you can win the tie tonight. Oh, I mean, look at Arsenal. Arsenal can go into the second leg, kick their feet up and rest as many players as they want. Get a load of 18, 19-year-olds out there. If PSV can overturn 6 goals, a fair bloody play to them. I don't think anyone's going to get, angry about that. That's just impressive. But they'll be able to do that. I don't foresee Spurs scoring 7 tonight. I don't foresee us winning 7-1. But if you go out there and you've won 3-1, you're in a pretty damn good spot come the second leg. I'm not holding you, not at all. Morning, Sean. Morning, Jazz. Spurs in race saying Pascal Strike and Farner Kings beat Tottenham. Well, they can beat us if they want. I don't think he'll leave Leeds. Obviously, I think Leeds will be coming up, so I don't see him leaving. No to him as well, though. Van Gogh, the era of Van Gogh is back. He's back. I had to question him yesterday. I said, hey, are you alive? You here? And he's like, no, I'm here. I still watch. And I go, oh, there's a lot of people that, are in there causing me havoc. You're normally one of them. So I've noticed. And he said, no, I'm still there. So I said, Marshall. He's not here at the moment. Marshall will be panicking. But good to see you, buds. Too much drama around. Yeah, Kane does not score in big games. He definitely does. The first leg of the round of 16 is not a big game. I think any European knockout game is a big game. All of them are, mate. All of them. You can't officially go out of the competition in the first leg, absolutely, but they are big games, all of them. Morning, Dees. Swaggy Boosh. Jacob, how are you? Is the games... Also, I live in Vietnam, so Kapopo. I couldn't tell you, mate, off the top of my head. I'd love it if PSV smash Arsenal. Yeah, well, that'd be nice. No, XL. Why is Werner in the squad? Werner is not in the squad. He has been obviously removed from the European squad. He is travelling with the squad, though. Same with Kinski. They're travelling with the squad, which I don't mind. I don't mind that whatsoever. They're going to do a bit of a training session. Let's keep the training performances high, Morning, Andy. Great, solid name, that, Andy. That's a great, solid name. Moving on, though. He was asked about Romero, Van der Ven, and Solanke starting. He said, we'll see. We'll train today. Obviously, they're all out for a significant amount of time. So we'll see when we introduce them. But they're all here training today, so we'll make decisions after that. I rated that. They asked him about Argentina calling up Romero, and he was like, shut up, basically. There was a lot of really, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of really crap questions in this press conference. Like one of them was like Eve Basuma was at a ski resort earlier this week. So you gave them days off, and he went. He actually said, "Come on, mate, you're better than that." That's how bad some of these questions were. What's your view on if he did go skiing? And it's just like, there's a football game. Let's talk about the football game. I don't know if that's crazy. They asked him about the Europa League, and they said the competition feels good for Spurs and has been in the past. Do you feel it's there for you? And he said, I'm not sure what there for me is, but it's competition. We obviously want to do well, and we've got ourselves into a good position. We're in the round of 16. We've got 2 cup games against AZ, and that's the first thing to overcome. You're right. The club hasn't in recent years done well in this competition, but it's a major European competition. We're in the last 16, and for us, there's an opportunity there, and we'll see how far we can go in it. He handles these questions so much better than other managers that I see. It's, I mean, I would absolutely be like, mate, he's having a few days off. Let the guy breathe. Are you allowed to have a few days off and go on holiday and no one cares about you? You know, but I'm not as mature as Ange, unfortunately. And they would love to interview me because I'd give them something to write about. We're finally Vernalist. We're not. Desiree, yeah, he was. How PSG didn't win yesterday, I just don't know how PSG did not win that game yesterday. Alisson had one of the best goalkeeping performances you'll ever see. He was magnificent. People called it a smash and grab. I don't view those sort of games as smash and grabs. That's how champions win some games. You're not going to play well always. Can you still get something out of it? And I think had they come away with a 0-0 draw, they'd win at Anfield, not a problem. Now they've got a 1-0. They've got a big buffer. So I think they'll be fine going into the next round, which they should face Aston Villa. So, Andy, do you know the name of the ginger fella who travelled with the squad? I'm here. I didn't travel with the squad, Sonia. All right. Kinski? I don't know. You have to point him out the face to me. If I had to get us 1 or 2, maybe 30 odd minutes. If you don't win the Premier League, Europe's a bonus money and winning something. Absolutely. Should Canate have been sent off? It's a good question. We'll talk about another time. Sorry, I had caps on, not shouting. Maybe later, depending on Spurs. Thoughts of the halftime show of the World Cup final? It's ridiculous. We're the biggest sport in all of the world, yet they're trying to make us more American. The Super Bowl needs to try and look at what the World Cups do and the Euros and the Copa Americas and things like that. Understand what they do for their successes and implement it to their game. I love the American football. I love the Super Bowl. I never watch the halftime shows. I'm never interested. I'm there to watch sport. Trust me, Coldplay could go out there and they could sing and they can mention my own name. I'm still not going to watch. I'm not going to care. I'm there to watch football. I'm there to watch football, and that's all I give a damn about. You know, Hannah better than me. I'd have been Levy's office Monday morning. I'd be fired like that. I'm so bored of the media. They hate us. We should ignore it and focus on us. Well, these are supposedly the people that are writing about Spurs that we're talking about. You know, Baz, mate, how are you? The T's and PSG like they did to us in the first leg. Well, no, well, at least we beat them in the first leg. You know, that's something. Morning, Andy. You good? Looking forward to tonight. Dante, I'm very good, my friend. I am also bloody buzzing about tonight's game. I'm absolutely bloody buzzing. FIFA hasn't been good for football for decades. Well, they're corrupt, aren't they? Let's be honest. Blatter, all that lot. Infantino's an idiot as well. They just go, hey guys, 1 in 21s. Broadcasters need to make money for the big TV deals they pay that feeds the teams. Trust me, mate, advertising alone makes so much stupid money. It's good. And also, a lot of those acts, especially the Super Bowl, they get next to nothing pay-wise. Some of them never even used to get paid. So even the artists, it's just more for them to be on the stage and to have their maybe new song out or something like that so they can make money that way. They don't get paid for their performance, which shows for some of them, I can tell. It's good for us, the Premier League teams progress in Europe because, well, look, better the teams do in Europe, the more likely you get the extra spot for the Champions League. So 5th would make the Champions League. Hence why I've said, don't punt on the season as much as we all want to win the Europa League. I want to win it just as much as you want to win it. We still have a lot of football to play in the Premier League this season. You just never know how things can happen. As you know, you win those games against those teams that are in and around that area, they're 6 pointers. You start to climb really, really quickly up that league. And if you do win the next two, you beat Bournemouth at home on Sunday, you beat Fulham away the Sunday after, I've said that league table will change immensely. Doesn't mean they do have agendas. I heard that Vuskovic is like the top. Vuskovic is absolutely a monster. He's an absolute monster. Cannot wait for him to join in the summer, mate. He's I don't know if he's the top scoring teenager. He might be, actually. Man, how much prize money for Club and World Cup? City and Chelsea, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to some other stuff that he talked about. They said, would you say you've got more belief in the squad to go all the way in the competition that you had at the start of the season? He said, it's hard to say. We obviously started the season feeling pretty good about where we're at, but obviously it hasn't transpired in that way. You just don't know. Certainly a combination of things, players, significant players coming back for us, but also just having the opportunity to train with the whole group has been really valuable to us. I think the time off and the players coming in, having time off and scheduling things better means we're in a good place, certainly to tackle things ahead. So certainly from that perspective. Probably a month back, we were really struggling with no players and no recovery. So from our perspective, the past few weeks have been really good for training recovery and just the level of intensity we can put into preparing for games. I love that. I cannot stress enough how much I loved that quote because for so long, I've somewhat defended these players, and and at times you can see you think not at it today, but for the most part I go, how good would Son be if he played that Sunday and he played that Sunday and he didn't have to play that Thursday there? And people go, and so he plays once a week. I go, yeah, he plays once a week. They go, well, he's going to be much better. I go, exactly. James Maddison, yeah, he's going to be much better. Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray, oh yeah, they'll be much better. Every player is going to be so much better for those players only playing once a week or not having to play 3 times a week. The fact that they can also train, and those young players, especially in like Kevin Danso, for example, that's a big one. Kinski will keep developing. Matisse Tell. I mean, Matisse Tell's a young player who has come in from Germany having not played a lot of football leading into coming to us. And we're asking him to play 90 minutes a week in a whole new way of living and things like that. It's not easy. He's had some success, and I think that's really promising. Like Ange said, if you expected him to come in here and just slap in hat tricks, you're an absolute donkey because he was never going to. And I think with Solanke coming back, I think that's actually going to really, really help Tell. I mean, Tell's not going to have to play 3 times a week where he never trains then in the week. He'll be able to play once or twice, get training with the coaching staff, learn what we want our strikers and wingers and attackers to do. It's the same with Kinski and how we want our goalkeepers to do it. It's the same with Danso, where we go, this is how we want our centre-halves to do, the X, Y, and Z. So that's why I think in the last sort of few weeks where Spurs have had a little bit more rest, they've got players back and they're training, I think you can see the level of performances have stepped up. We probably, City could have scored a few goals against us. We could have scored a few goals against City. You sort of just write that one off as that's the champions of England. That only a couple of seasons ago was a treble winning side who won the Champions League. They've won 1 billion FA Cups and League Cups. Yes, I always sometimes go, you kind of just write one of those losses off every now and then. The fact we beat them twice already this season is, it shows, hey, we can compete. But we weren't still 100% in that game. I think when you look at it recently, the Ipswich, the Man United, the Brentford, you can see the performances did step up a level. They're not perfect. They're not brilliant, but they have stepped up a level. That's because the guys are training more and they're resting more. And that's why I said about this game today. And I'm keen to know what you guys think. When I said, Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison would be my midfield, I saw some people going, play Benz, Core, Bergvall, and Maddison. That's been your 3. Keep it going. I don't mind going with those 2 and Maddison, by the way. I just thought Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison obviously have a really good chemistry together. Obviously, haven't played a lot of football last season. And it's not that I'm dropping Bentancur and Bergvall. Actually, it's the opposite. I just want to try and keep them fitter throughout all these games. I just think I don't know. I just get a vibe that it's a Basuma Sarr kind of game tonight, and I could be wrong. I could be miles off it, and they would be awful. And Bentancur and Bergval, they're absolute mustard and money. But I just feel like we've got these players now. Now it's time to rotate, and actually, really, we got some of these players back and didn't rotate very much. And Sarr's had some injuries, and Basuma's not been great. It's that sort of now we have that opportunity to rotate. We should be looking to rotate. That team that played against City, I don't want to see. No offense. Some of it I do, like your Odebears. I want to see Odebear start today. I actually don't want to see Heung-Min Son start today. I want to see Odebear. I want to see Matisse Stell start today. And Slanky maybe comes on for the last sort of 20-30. I want to see, probably Desi Doggy and Pedro Porro with Jed Spence then rotating in for him. And I want to see Spence at the weekend against Bournemouth. We're in a really good spot now with some of these players that we should be looking to kind of go 4 games between now and the following Sunday. That's not a lot of time in terms of rest and recovery, but it's a lot of time in terms of let's get lots of players playing a lot of football. That's my attitude. Again, it's not I'm dropping players. Please don't think it's that I don't rate that player, I don't rate that player. It's let's just get some players in and rotated in, and let's just keep that circle going, Are we even sure that Vuskovic is just centre back? He's playing right wing for us. I saw an post about it. Yeah, there you go. American sport and football should be kept separate. It's what makes it special. You wouldn't have an Italian and Thai together as food. I would, because I'm a big boy. But look, American football is a fantastic sport. I love American football. It could not hold a candle to football. Football is the biggest sport in the world by a mile compared to like your American footballs and your NBAs. I mean, the Super Bowl will get, let's say, 150 million views. A World Cup final will be in the billions. It's night and day. I mean, Americans will tell you American football is the biggest sport in the world, but that's because they live in this cocoon where nothing on the outside actually means anything. We shouldn't be trying to be like them. They should be trying to be like us. Danso showed great mentality his press conference. I love some of the stuff that Danso was saying. Not giving on the Premier League qualifying positions is why last week I made a point of asking you to look at Brentford's futures fixtures. I'll have a quick look now. Because I probably did when you asked me, but I forgot. So they got Villa at the weekend at home, who are in 10th. Are 4 points ahead of Brentford. I mean, we got a game in hand on Villa, by the way. We're 9 points behind. We've got a game in hand. They lose that and we win with, I'm just saying. Just saying. They then play Bournemouth away. Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Brighton at home, Forest away. Jesus Christ, until the end of April, they're in games that are massive. So you're right, Steve. That's a shout and a half, mate. I appreciate it. That's a shout and a half. It shows that the season isn't over. Plus, a lot of these players will get even more of a break and chance to train as they will not get called up for internationals. Talon Johnson will be a good sub. Do you think we'll go for Tapsoba? No. Would you play Gray as 6 tonight? Second half. I mean, look, this is a question that I was thinking about yesterday. I was reading these quotes and I was thinking about it. Will he go with Archie Gray at centre back? Because Ben Davies, by all things that he has said, won't be playing tonight. Now, if my only question is, because he has said Mickey's done really well in training and he's confident. Well, he did really well in training. He was confident last time, and then we lost him for another 2 months. Is he truly, truly ready to go? Because if he is, and him and Romero can play 45 minutes each, there you go. You're both playing 45 minutes. Or is there a concern that maybe one of them can give you 45 minutes? There's a thumbs up, apparently. You're welcome. There is no thumb on show, but fair play. Is there a possibility that you've got those two that can't go 45 minutes each? That Archie Gray's going to have to play some good minutes tonight. And then maybe, Porro gets subbed off or a midfielder gets subbed off and maybe Archie goes into there maybe. I don't know, maybe that's kind of my thinking at centre back. If neither of them can give you 45 minutes each, maybe Archie Gray gives you 45 minutes at centre half. It's just a thought process from I was having to think. I don't know what you guys think about that. Which players close to signs for Spurs and you wish that he had signed? Too many, mate. There's too many, and it hurts my heart. Tell will be a different animal. Europe. Gray Davies, Basuma, Dragic, no. Vic, Doggy, Porro, Van der Ven, or Romero. Just want to get one back fit, but not both, it seems. Danso, Sarr, Benscore, Madison, Odebetel, Johnson. Don't hate it. I don't hate that team whatsoever. I think we've got a similar mindset there, Van Gogh, mate, because I think Vic, Doggy, and Porro will start. One of those guys I think could start. Maybe it'll be actually Romero to start. I think if it's either of them, I think it'll be Romero. That's my thinking. I think Mickey will be on the bench. Saar, Benscore, Madison. I think it'll be Saar, Basura, and Madison. Odebetel, Jono. Yeah, I agree with that front three. Super will get more money than World Cup, but World Cup will get more views. Don't know. Spencer Gray to be called up to England squad. Not Gray, but Spence, yeah. Spence possibility, Archie Gray, no. I've got a weird person. My left toenail. Interesting. I trust Ange 100% to pick the right team. I see Dancer playing 90 minutes, Romero 45. Van de Ven the other. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Coys. Cheers, Andy, mate, for streams. Level-headed, good discussion. Cheers to those in the chat. Please like and subscribe. Let's get a win tonight. Dante's been a member for 2 months now. Absolute bloody legends. I appreciate that as well, by the way, my friend. Absolute legend. The lads need to start well. Scored 3 in the first half, so we can get some minutes. 3 in the first half. Crikey. I'd be bloody thrilled if we scored 3 in the first half, I'll tell you that. And of all those teams you just said, everyone looks as those as well. Offline as they play each other, the season's more open than everyone thinks, especially if one team goes on a run. Yeah. Romero and Danso then move Danso to the right, Van der Ven to the left. That's how it usually operates. Solanke also plays maybe 20 minutes. I wish Scarlett got a chance, but you can't see if this match. Maybe next match we've got a good score tonight, potentially so. Romero says Danso would be a brick wall. I mean, you talk about Warriors. I don't know, Jake. I don't know. I'm just sort of ignoring it, to be honest, mate. Seeing what he said about Mickey and Kuti, because I need to wrap up, actually, because I need to go somewhere in a second. He said there's going to be a lot of focus on Mickey and Christian when you put them back in. There's not a lower tempo game for you to put them back in for. He said, I never think about it that way. I don't know what lower tempo games is. Every game players know they have to come in and perform. It's about making sure they're ready for us. I've always felt our training is a real good preparation for the way we play, the best preparation for the way we play. And the fact that Romero, Dom, and Mickey have been able to train with us at the usual intensity we train at, rather than what it is, what it has been, is a good indicator for me about whether they'll be able to cope. Love it. The rest of the press conference, you're not missing anything, to be honest. But I love that, the fact that training has been at such a high intensity that, Romero, Mickey, and Dom have all had some success with that. I love it. So, look, I said 2-1. I can't actually remember my goal scorers. I think I said Johnson and Tell. I can't remember. What are we thinking? What are you thinking? Come on. Give me your score lines again. I want to know what you're thinking. Steve reckons 5-0. Death Taxes and Steve telling me 5-0. 6-1, Jake reckons. Jake just saw Steve and went, we're playing poker. He's called his bet and he's raised him. Happy Father's Day in advance. Okay. Simple 3-1 tonight. Great stream. Appreciate it, Baz, mate. There will be, by the way, a post-game stream as well for the review. All right. So make sure you're there. All right. Just after the game, give it 5-10 minutes. Just check when I'm going to be up and live, because I might have been live by then. All right. So make sure you're there with me. Difficult match. Happy with any win, but our draw is not bad. I think we're in 4-1. If Arsenal can win, beats PSV 7-1, then we ought to be slapping AZ. I want to finish tie 4-1. Johnson, tell Andy, you said 2-1. I said 2-0. Bingo. Heart 3-0. Brain 1-0. Thanks. Have a great day, everyone. Look, I'm still going to go 2-1. Go 2-1. Take the game back to your place, and you're in control. I'm still going 2-1. I'm still going Tell. I'm still going Jono. Obviously, I won't as much if they don't start, but in my team, they did start. But let's see. Let's see what happens tonight. We're 6 and a bit hours away now. Start of the European adventure, eh? I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Look, go and enjoy the rest of the mornings, afternoons, evenings, wherever you're in the world. Go and enjoy it. Kick your feet up. And you know what? Spurs played today, and Spurs are going to give us the win. That's what I'm going to say, and that's what I'm going to end with. Thank you all so much for joining. I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.